Hello, this is Jeff Hamrick at Rhodes College again, and I'm going to talk for a few minutes about three simple ways to turn on SPSS. So every computer at Rhodes is set up slightly differently, though of course the ones in the Barrett Library are relatively similarly situated. But roughly speaking, to turn on SPSS, you should go to this logo in the bottom left-hand corner of a Windows system and press it. Now, Passois Statistics, which is the same thing as SPSS, is located on my shortcut menu. In general, though, you need to go to All Programs and click on SPSS Inc. So a quick note about a possible confusion. This software for decades has been called SPSS. Recently, a private equity firm bought the company that makes SPSS and renamed its flagship software product Passois, P-A-S-W. I think that means Performance Analytic Software. IBM then bought Passois/SPSS back from the private equity firm and is turning its name back into SPSS. So you are looking, generally speaking, for SPSS, but sometimes you're looking for Passois Statistics. So you click on this, and then that, the sigma notation right there is the thing you want to click on, the icon to start up SPSS. So SPSS runs using a license exchange server with the network. It takes a minute or two to turn on sometimes. Once you get into SPSS, this is the auto startup wizard that lets you import data. I've talked about that in a couple of other screencast tutorials, so I won't get into that right now. Let me close out SPSS and just mention very quickly two other ways you can turn it on. Here is a data file that I have saved on my desktop. If you have any set of data in SPSS, you can save that data. Obviously, you can start up SPSS by simply double-clicking on this data file. Okay. So the other thing that's generated by SPSS are output files. So when you run a one-sample t-test or when you run a regression analysis, those analyses are dumped out into something called an output file, and you can save those output files as they're called viewer files and open those separately. And you won't open up the main SPSS software engine by doing that. But you will open up the SPSS output viewer. That way, in principle, you can send the output viewer to somebody who has an expired version of SPSS and they can still look at your statistical analyses even though they don't have a fully functional version of SPSS on their computers. So here's an SPSS output file. It will open up in the viewer. So it will open up a blank data set on my computer, but here's what the output looks like. Okay, so that's yet another way that you can open up SPSS. The data that was used to generate this analysis is not here in Passois Statistics. The data view and variable views are blank at the moment. So this output is independent of any data set. But in short, those are three different ways. They're fairly obvious to open up Passois Statistics or SPSS for you to use on your computer.